Good evening. This is the April 24th, 2025 meeting of the Bike, Pedestrian and Transit Subcommittee. The time is 6:05 p.m. Commissioner Greco, could you please call the roll?
Okay, Commissioner Amore.
Here.
Commissioner Wagner is expected to be a little bit late. Commissioner Leishman.
Present.
And Commissioner Greco, that's me, I am here.
Great. We'll move on to item 2, public comments. There are no members of the public with us tonight, so we'll go straight to item 3, amendments to the agenda. Are there any proposed amendments to the agenda tonight?
I have none.
I have none.
Seeing none, we'll go straight to item 4, approval of the minutes of the March 2025 meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Amore. Is there a second?
Sure, I'll second.
All right. Any discussion on the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the March 2025 meeting minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Motion passes. And we go on to item 5, business. First item of business tonight is Bike Month, which, as we all know, happens every year in May. We have several scheduled events for Bike Month this year. To start off with, I think we'll just go in. I know Bob will want to discuss the smart cycling class, so we'll hold off on that one till the end. But starting with Roll to School Day, I let Trisha Little know that we are excited they're doing the event again. This is, of course, happening at North School on May 7th. But as we discussed at our last meeting, we may not have a whole lot of volunteers to contribute this year because we're all kind of busy. But that we would reach out to our network of volunteers to try and encourage some more adults to chaperone the event. I'm planning on taking PTO that morning, so as long as, if nothing else, I can be there to lead the charge. But hopefully we can get some more adults to walk alongside us.
Hello.
Hello.
We were just talking about Roll to School Day on the 7th.
Okay.
Not a whole lot to discuss there. I let Trisha Little know that we're interested but may not be able to contribute a whole bunch of volunteers this year.
Right, and I'm still up in the air about the bike summit. I would really like to go, but there's certain things I have to arrange for, make sure are happening before I could even think about going, so.
Yeah, that's fine.
May I just tell the tape that Robert Wagner has arrived?
Yeah, we can discuss that more in item C. But yeah, I plan to send out the email over the weekend to our mailing list of the friends of the Bike, Pedestrian Transit Subcommittee, people that have helped us out with events in the past. Hoping we can get a couple more volunteers to help with the Roll to School Day. Anything else to discuss on that? Okay. Then next item on our calendar is the smart cycling class on May 10th. Commissioner Wagner, I know you've been kind of leading that initiative since you're our village LCI. Anything you'd like to discuss about that event?
Not really. We're going to get something out, or if it hasn't gone out already, to the virtual backpack to District 45 students.
Excellent.
Sue Earle asked me if we wanted to do another one in August, and I said, I'm gonna take a pass. But I did share with you, a little bit related, I'm doing just a bike safety talk in Bensonville. I think it's for the Bensonville Library. It's 20 to 30 minutes, and it's on Monday, May 12th. So I copied Sandy just in case she would be interested. Anything like that, I don't know.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Did they reach out to you personally to do that, or?
So what happens is, there is a person, and she kind of works for Ride Illinois and the LCIs in Illinois. When she gets requests for people to speak or to do smart cycling classes, she puts them out, and 2 of us said yes, but then the other person I think lives in the city, and I said, I live in Villa Park, so, and it's only 20 to 30 minutes, so
Yeah.
I figure, yeah.
It'll take you longer to get there.
What's that? Yeah,
That's right.
exactly.
Not
So-
really, but
I'll let you know how that goes.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing about it.
Yeah, and I did check with District 45, and to see if they were doing any bike safety classes, but nothing. I haven't heard anything about that, so.
Sure.
But they did give me the name for the new curriculum person, so I'm gonna put together a proposal and send it to them in August to see if and then there is someone who is now in charge in Ride Illinois with recruiting LCIs. Her last name is Adamczyk,
Okay.
so.
I apologize. I was cleaning up something on here. What did you say? What are you going to be doing the proposal for? What will you be doing the proposal for?
So, in years past, we did at with the exception of the junior high, not Jackson, not Jefferson, but all the other schools, Stevenson, York Center, Schaefer, Westmore, Ardmore, North School, what other school am I leaving out?
Well, yeah, all the
Yeah,
local
so all the
schools.
schools, we did a bike safety class,
Okay.
a talk for them, and they would usually rotate in. Joe was at one. They usually would rotate in. They'd bring half the kids, the really young kids, then they'd bring the older kids.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's cool. So you're going to see if you can make that happen again this year
Yeah.
or next year.
I don't
next
know
school
if
year.
it's. So I was working with Kim Messina, but I haven't heard from Kim. So I don't know if she's doing these solo, but they didn't indicate anything was going on, so.
Okay.
Cool. Next item on the agenda is Rite of Silence, which is May 21st. I unfortunately have been very busy, so I haven't reached out to the police yet about that, but I plan to do that this weekend to make sure that we have an escort for that. Otherwise, I think we'll probably do a pretty similar route as to what we've done in previous years, where we start by Village Hall and head south before making our way back to the Prairie Path. Yeah. I still have the signs from last year, so we can wear those as bibs again. Is there any other items worth discussing on that matter?
Not really. It's an event that's already organized.
Yeah.
Did we establish where we would meet?
I think we'll just meet at Village Hall again.
Okay.
Or the
What
police
time?
department.
Yeah, sorry, the police department, I guess. I think we'll start meeting at 6:30. I think the Rite of Silence always starts at 7 p.m.
All right. All right. So and anybody we invite to join us, tell them meet at the police department at 6:30. Okay. Thank you.
Cool. Then the last thing that I had for Bike Month was a potential bike movie. I took a look at the library's calendar around the end of May, and It's pretty packed, and also my calendar is pretty packed. So unless people are really passionate about doing a bike movie this year, I would be fine with just tabling that initiative for this year.
I actually have to agree with that because I took no time to help research movies. So, right, we have 3 events. We can do the movie next year.
Or actually 4 events with the bike registration thing that Commissioner Wagner has been
Oh, right, yeah.
working for as well. I know that isn't officially on the agenda tonight, but yeah, it looks like there is going to be a bicycle registration event with the police department on the 24th, I believe.
Yeah, they'd like to do it on the 24th.
Yeah.
And I responded on that, Commissioner Maury, I will be available that day, so.
Cool. And I assume that that's going to be somewhere along the Prairie
It'll
Path
probably be at the
historical
shelter right by the historical
Yeah.
museum. I think that's a great place for it.
It works really well, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Commissioner Maury does a good job of stopping.
All the pretty girls.
Yeah.
And the little kids.
What's that?
All the little kids and the pretty girls.
Okay.
Anything else we want to discuss about Bike Month?
I just saw today that Active Transportation Alliance has the Bike Commuter Challenge, which starts on May 19th. May 19th to June 15th.
Commuter Challenge, May 5, what?
Have we ever done that before?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the libraries participated. And so if you've ever seen you can, they usually have like a team leader and you kind of log the number of miles you've traveled and the different categories, and the library actually like came in second in their category one year.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, and I used to work for an organization that was crazy about it. I mean, they were crazy. They were crazy into it.
Okay, so you had like employees riding 30 miles every day to get to work, yeah.
Right, well, this is an organization in the city, but they were
Yeah.
they were competing with other organizations, and they
Oh,
would consistently win their category.
wow, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's
And that
always
was,
like a nice, kind of an award ceremony that they invite team leaders to. One time I went to, it was at the terrace for the Peggy Noterbart Nature Museum, and that was
Ooh.
very cool. Yeah, it was very nice.
and you said that was the Active Transportation Alliance, right?
What's that?
You said that was Active Transportation Alliance, yeah.
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 But the group that I was working for at the time was the Center for Neighborhood Technology, and they were just like,
Yeah,
everybody had to participate somehow.
yeah,
You had to ride your bike at least one day. It was almost obligatory.
yeah.
Are there prizes involved or just bragging rights?
bragging rights, primarily bragging rights. One organization that's a suburban organization is Chris Burke Engineering, which is in Rosemont, and they're really into that as well.
Yeah, I could see my employer being pretty into it. There's quite a few people that ride their bikes to work. Most of them live in Elmhurst, though. Yeah.
Where's the company?
It's on what is it? Is that County Farm Road? Is that the one that goes right next to like 290?
294.
Yeah. Kind of there behind the cemetery.
Oh. So people from Elmhurst could get there easily then, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you're downtown, riding to the train station counts.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I should have clarified. I work in Elmhurst. That's why most people that are riding are
From Elmhurst,
From
yeah.
Elmhurst.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay,
All right, let's move on to item 5B then, project sidewalk update. We did end up having our project sidewalk mapathon earlier this month. We had about 12 people show up total. We had quite a few high schoolers RSVP, but then only one of them actually showed up for the event. But despite that, we were able to get about 20% of Villa Park mapped out.
That's great.
We still have some money left from the mini grant that ATA gave us, and so I think I will talk with Laura Leishman, the organizer of the event, and see if we might want to do another one later in the summer. Otherwise, the website is still active, so if people want to participate, they can reach out to me and I can show them how to use the website, and it's a great way to kill some time. I know there have been some people that have continued contributing to it after the event, just in their spare time, lunch breaks and stuff like that. I haven't looked at the standings in the last couple of days, but at least earlier this week, Villa Park, our mapathon team was like the third highest number of mapped locations in like the greater Chicago area.
wow, Goville Park.
Mhm.
That will help recruitment if we do another bid. It's funny how momentum builds, but if we can tell people that.
Commissioner Wagner?
Yeah, I just want to let you know that I did receive a call from someone about Project Sidewalk.
Oh yeah?
I'm not sure if you got a call from them as well.
No.
It was rather a strange call. The person, I said, well, I'm not involved in it, I can't attend today, but, I can give you, Laura Leishman is running it, and the village is basically at arm's length from,
Yeah.
And this person was complaining to me about it and how it was not a good idea, and I tried to assure them that staff knew about it, and I think they just called me to gripe for whatever reason, so.
It sounds like a misunderstanding.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
It sounds like a misunderstanding, like they
I
thought
think
they
it
were
was,
gonna
I
make them pay for a
just think it
sidewalk.
was, I don't know what it was. It was
Did you
just
get a name?
Oh, I know who it is, I'm just not gonna say
Oh,
who it
okay.
is. I'll tell Alan who it is
Right.
later on. But it was just a very weird conversation. So-and-so is not gonna participate, it's a bad thing, it creates liability for the village, and I thought, this has all been covered, and I have nothing to do with it, so I don't know
Right.
why you're complaining to me, so.
And it's gonna happen whether we participate or not.
Right, exactly.
So,
Right.
yeah.
So, it was just a weird conversation. So,
I'm sorry you had to deal with that.
yeah, it's okay, I was just like exasperated, I said,
Yeah.
okay.
Commissioner Mori?
So Commissioner Mori does a lot of walking when he's knocking doors during the elections. And there has been comments made, one way or the other, about a lack of sidewalks in front of their private residences. And some would like to keep it that way, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And they don't mind if people have to walk in the street. So there may be some consideration that, not consideration, but there may be some misunderstanding where people think that we're gonna put a sidewalk where there wasn't one, and then they're gonna have to pay for it. So I don't think they understand the project. And also I wanted to follow up, when the comprehensive plan was brought to a vote, I spoke on behalf, I didn't speak officially on behalf of the subcommittee, but I did mention in my treatise, shall we say, like my long-winded complaint, that we hope that when the comprehensive plan starts being implemented, that our information and our data would be taken a look at. And then the other thing was that I finally got them to add Elm Street between Euclid and Villa onto the comprehensive plan project map. Because it was omitted again, it was omitted in the 2018 master plan. We spoke on it a number of times, but now they took me in the back room. They left their hands off me, but they asked me to show them where it was, and then they added it in. So that's part of the comprehensive plan now.
So what stretch of sidewalk was that? So they did have to add
It's
the omitted.
Elm Street between Villa and Euclid. And there's only 4 houses at the west end on the north side that have sidewalk. And then it just abruptly ends. And the next 5 houses, and then around the curve, have nothing. And there's nothing on the south side either.
Okay, so, yeah, because I do remember at the meeting, they actually did it on right there on the spot.
Yeah.
They added it, yeah. They still could have voted on it, but.
Yeah, I don't know where it's hanging right now. I think it was tabled.
Until the next meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
so
was just a
I'm
presentation.
pretty sure they'll have a vote, and it will include that sidewalk that's been omitted from the last couple of plans, so. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Anything else about Project Sidewalk?
Other than find the time and keep mapping.
Yeah. Yeah, we're doing great so far. All right. Item 5C, Illinois Walk and Bike Summit. Commissioner Wagner.
So I attended virtually the Ride Illinois annual meeting, and there was some talk about it. It's gonna be a great event, and that most of the activities will take place on the 7th. There'll be, I believe there can be a ride on the 8th, and then folks are gonna be sent out to lobby on behalf of bike issues. There's several bills that are important to, bicyclists, pedestrians, and Ride Illinois now has a lobbyist who they felt was doing a great job. So there's a list of bills, but I don't have that with me right now, but, yeah, my intention is to go down, but I'm just kind of waiting for things to settle down, play out with respect to something, so as soon as I know what's happening, I'll know better.
Okay. Do we still need to allocate funds at the ACC meeting?
It's in the budget. I could present something in May, even June. I'm not worried about it. I could do it after the fact. I don't think it makes a difference.
I am fine moving for it at the
Yeah,
ACC meeting.
I don't know what my lodging will cost. I don't know. You probably would know better what the train fare is to go down there.
I could look it up. Yeah.
Yeah, I can do the same as well. So I was just gonna bring my bike down, I was gonna ride down, I was gonna ride from the train station to the Springfield. This may be it may have changed the name, there's the Prairie State Convention Center, it may have changed its name, I don't know. I think it's after a bank in Springfield now.
The train may charge extra for the bike, I don't remember how that
What's that?
works. The train may charge extra for the bike, I don't know how that works.
Okay,
All right. Cool. Thank you for reporting on that, Commissioner Wagner. Let's go on to item 5D, update about the DuPage Rail Safety Council.
Thank you, Joel Morey. Still a board member, but I resigned my position as treasurer because of my new duties elsewhere, and they're gonna find someone for that. But I was happy to announce that the initiative where that was basically built on the rail safety message that's embedded in the Park and Recreation's handbook was presented as legislation for the state of Illinois. to be included in student handbooks from K through 12. And it passed unanimously in the House, which is not easy to do. So it's moving to the Senate. I've been working the phones the last 5 or 6 days, getting senators to co-sponsor it. But the two chief co-sponsors are our own Senator Susie Goyak Hilton and somebody named Patty Turner, who's a Republican downstate. So Susie Goyak's chief of staff assured me that they have what's called a approved bills packet. Those are the ones that everybody likes, and there's not going to be any controversy, and it will be included in that. So it may be voted on and signed into law by the time we meet again. If that happens, I will be happy to go downstate and be there when the governor signs it.
Oh, fun.
Because this was pretty much my baby. Me and one of the fellows from Operation Lifesaver put it together. It could go national. I mean, it's really, because the Operation Lifesaver people volunteered to go into schools, and then that was basically cut off during COVID. And they're just now getting back into school, but like Bob and I, realize when we do the safety presentations at schools, sometimes in a group setting, not everybody gets the message. So this way, the message is in the school student handbook. The parents can read it to their kids, and gives them an opportunity to partner with the school district and the safety organizations.
Do you happen to know the bill number?
Yeah, it's HB 3743.
And what would it be in the Senate? Do you know that?
Same bill.
Oh, same bill number? Okay.
And then the last thing is that we've been passing information back and forth because these, the BNSF, which goes through Downers Grove and out to Naperville, they've had 4 pedestrian incidents in the last 36 hours. And we know for sure that at least one is a suicide, and chances are more may also be suicides. And that was one of our goals, is to reduce these. But considering the political, social environment and the pressures that are people feeling that may never have any way to deal with before, we hate to see that happen here. So I was going to take a look around, make sure our right-of-way is hardened. There are still some access points that should be, improved. And we just got them to repair a fence that was next to York High School, that the kids were slipping. They were walking down the freight line, the Canadian National Line, to cut through
York
the
High
fence.
School?
The one you pointed out to me.
Oh, that's incredible.
The fence is now repaired. The fence is now repaired.
Okay.
It turned out to be the school district's fence, and they went out there, and it's right up against that wooden one now. So if they're going to have to find a different way, they're going to have to scale the fence now.
If they're high school kids, they will.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. And then if it gets noticed, we'll just have to report that too, and they'll have all summer to work on it. So that's all the report I got.
Thanks, Commissioner Mori.
Thank you.
All right, last item on the agenda in business is item 5E, community outreach. I know we discussed quite a bit of outreach we're doing in Bike Month next month, but are there any other items that people wanted to discuss?
I guess it fits here. I needed a repair on one of my bikes, so I took it as an opportunity to introduce myself to the new bike shop owners and tell them all about us.
Ethan, you talked to Ethan.
He was busy, but I spent a long time talking to Kirk, and then I had an email, which I believe I copied you on. The final one. There was a little bit of back and forth, but the final email I copied you on. I tried not to step on any toes or be committal about the commission. But they are open to the idea of sponsorship, so as soon as we get some things going, we can talk to them in more detail about how that would look.
Maybe we should invite them to the thing on May 24th with the prairie pad, with the police.
Oh, the bike registration, yeah. That would be a really good opportunity for them to get some literature out. Yeah.
I know Saturdays are bad for them because they're busy as heck, but, you know, if they could,
Even if they just gave us some swag.
right. Because I did stop and talk to Ethan too, I'm sure some of you others did too, but I didn't commit to anything. This wasn't even on the calendar yet, so I couldn't suggest it.
Yeah.
And I did invite him to come tonight, but
Yeah, so did I. Kirk seemed really, really interested, but I also got the sense that he tends to flake on his personal life. I suppose we could delete that bit. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I was thinking that, you know, if we do end up doing a community bike ride later in the summer, that might be a good opportunity to partner with them, especially if we do shirts or something like that.
Yeah, I specifically talked to them about Brewfest, if we can get Pace to do the bike valet, or even just to help sponsor the bike valet.
Cool. Anything else in community outreach? All right, let's move on to item 6, commissioner comments. Start on my left with Commissioner Amore.
I had a conversation with Greg Gola, and I had asked him, have we, you know, back when before Matt Harline, when Rich Keener was the village manager, they had an annual train station cleanup on a Saturday, where some of his people would come out and they'd go around in all the areas that where cans had been strewn about. They'd do a thorough cleaning and bring out the street sweeper and give the whole thing. So he said he was going to talk to Mike Guerra, but they never got back to him.
Was that like the public was invited volunteer thing, or was it just the village went out and did
It was a volunteer thing. People were invited, and a lot of people did show up back in those days. But I think at the time, Rich kind of had a personal hand in the landscaping, because I can remember him moving a lot of mulch around and doing a lot of landscaping. Since then, now it's Parks and Recs maintain the buildings, the structures. But so I asked Greg, are you guys also responsible for the grounds? Because they're starting to look a little shabby. You know, the sewer drains are all clogged up. So I don't know what's going on, you know, what's going to happen. I'm going to follow up with them next week and see if they, you know, what they determined, if they're going to do something, and let us know.
I mean, devil's advocate here is, I haven't been involved in this event in the past, so I don't really know what all was historically done during that, but is the train station, like, dirtier than, like, other parts of town? I mean...
Things tend to collect there. They don't
Okay.
get the sweeping, like, you know, because they don't come during the week because the lot's full of cars.
Okay.
And staff is usually off on weekends. So they have to make it a specific
Fair enough.
event. And I'm sure the people who work for the village don't work for free. They come in and get
Yeah,
extra
absolutely. Yeah.
overtime. So maybe it's just a budgetary thing.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
There you go. The structures look fine. I mean, at least the one on the north side. The one on the south, trash tends to collect there sometimes, but they come after it.
Yeah. Now, personally, the places that, like, I notice litter around town, especially, is not so much at the train station, but, like, along the right of way, you know, like on the public side of the fence, along the train line there. I don't know if it's the fence that just, like, catches stuff that's blowing in the wind or what, but there tends to be a lot of litter there, like, between like Jefferson Middle School and the train line. Commissioner Greco?
No, I talked during community outreach, so that was all I had.
Okay. Commissioner Wagner?
Are we in commissioner comments?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to mention that the union I'm on Traffic and Safety Commission, and we thought that we would be getting the traffic study for us to look at, to
You're talking about the apartment complex.
the apartment complex in Villa Avenue, right
Yeah,
at, yeah, Wildwood and Villa Avenue. And I was talking about, I had sent an email, didn't get a response, and then I ran into Mark McLaughlin, and he sent me all the information. That's all been approved. It's all, they circumvented traffic and safety, maybe they just went to planning and zoning, but there's a traffic study. They're submitting drawings, and they're about to get moving on, I don't know what the timeline is for the construction. So, I don't know how I haven't had a chance to look at it, but where they're, how that will affect traffic around the community rec building, how they're going to handle the tri-trail connector. So, I can share that with everybody. I'm sure it'd be interesting.
Were you saying that the traffic hadn't been studied?
No, they did a traffic study.
Oh, okay.
Typically, it comes to Traffic and Safety Commission, but they didn't send it to Traffic and Safety Commission.
Ah,
I think it just went, it may have, I don't typically watch Planning and Zoning Commission meetings, but I'm thinking that's where it went. So,
Well, I have a quick question for you about so if I identify those access points that need to be strengthened by the railroad, I will be away on the 6th. Can I send you an email that you can bring to their attention at the meeting on the 6th?
sure, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And then there was some flurry of social media comment about the sensors that were being placed along Ardmore, and I happened to look at one, and they're very interesting. I mean, I don't know what they cost. I haven't had a chance to look them up, but it's a brand of, I'm sure they probably collect traffic volume, traffic speed, but there's also a big camera on the top. So
Well, I was looking at one of those, and I'm not sure if it is a camera. It looks
like a camera to
it
me.
looks like a microphone to me.
Looks like a microphone?
Yes, like
Okay.
it looks like a small megaphone.
Okay, yeah, okay.
But there could also be different ones. I was just
Yeah, it
looking
could be
at the
like
one
a
on-
listening device, you know.
I can see how that might be useful, like in distinguishing what kind of vehicle is
Road noise.
going by,
Yeah, I mean traffic has noise, so like based on volume and frequency, you can tell like how many cars are moving through an area. But I don't know.
Yeah, typically they put something across the road that acts as a counter. and
Yeah, that would be an easier way to do it.
Right,
Yeah, and they can take, they have like multiple,
right,
and it'll measure speed as well.
right. This is probably not in your way, shall we say, in your experience. But it reminded me of the driveway bells at the gas station.
Yeah, I remember
Yes.
those.
You know what I'm talking about?
No idea.
So there is,
Well,
back in the day when people would come out and actually pump your gas,
Yes.
they had a hose that was
It's
about
pressurized, right?
right, and when you go, and it was hooked
Yeah.
up to a bell, and you pulled into the station and you triggered it, it would go ding ding, and then if you were inside, you knew somebody had pulled up to the bay.
Yeah, it was how they could, if someone was inside, they could come out and help you. I do think that the other
This is-
style
this is
that
Mio
you're
vision.
talking about are more accurate, which
Yeah.
is why they
Anonymous
use them.
traffic study equipment. Interesting. Yeah. So since it has vision in there, I'm thinking
Yeah,
there's gotta
that-
be a
that-
camera somewhere.
You would think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other comments?
No.
Okay. I have no comments this evening, so I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second the motion.
All right. All those in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And we will be ending the meeting at 6:44 p.m.
I will be
Go
right
us.
back.